Hello everyone, my name is Kate Marshall. The name of my channel is called Inked Paper Art, and today is day 54 of 365 days of junk journal ideas. I am going to be working in my blue French beauty journal today, and I am going to be finishing up these decorated envelopes. So they were envelopes to start with. I copy dyed them. They are going to hinge on a page, and I've got the envelopes done and decorated. I have done that on camera, and then I'm going to make the tags to go in the envelope. So basically the tag will slide in the envelope and you'll be able to see a pretty French fashion lady through the little window envelope there. So anyway, we're going to work on that today. Hopefully we're just going to, I've already got everything prepped. We're both basically going to just do some decorating and making these little tags. I am going to sew some fabric, little tabs at the top of them and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. I have the journal so I can show you exactly where I'm going to place them in there and how they're going to flip out and work. I prepped the tag is actually made out of two antique rag paper, French rag paper book pages that have been glued together with Uhu glue stick. So this is the glue stick. It's called Uhu glue stick. You guys always ask me about that. And so what I've done is I've glued together two rag paper French antique book pages, and that makes them pretty sturdy and thick. Now I will add copy dyed paper to the backs just as another layer of thickness, and then it gives the person writing space on the back of their tags. So let's, first things first, cut these into tag shape. And whenever you have a text like this, you basically can just follow the text with your scissors. You don't really need the paper trimmer for that. So that's pretty good there. And then the other thing is for tag shape on these, I'm just doing a little snip at the top, not a huge snip. So that's about good for that one. And I just need to make sure that my tags are about the same thickness. That one's pretty good for just freehanding it. Now this one here, obviously I have a wider book page, so I'm going to need to do a little bit of evening up here. You can't have all of this thickness. You got to cut some of it off. That's about right. Doing pretty good so far. And then I'm going to trim off some of the bottom of this one. I just don't want all of that. And then snip my corners. And so that's how I've made my tags today. Now, after that, we're going to do our decorating. So again, I've showed you how to make these tags before. It's just two glued together rag paper book pages. So I'm going to decorate on the front of these. The point of doing it this way is that you already have your text in the background. Now to do the decorating, I have some antique blue ledger pages, so I'm going to put that in the background. And then I have some French fashion ladies that I've already started to cut out. I have some scraps. I hope these are going to work. If they're not, I have other options that we can cut out. These are all original. Everything in this project is original. I'm not using any digitals. And so the first thing that we need to do is we need to tear some of this beautiful blue ledger and get ourselves a couple of pieces of this handwriting section. You could use any part of it, but I'm going to focus on trying to get some of this here. And so I just want a little bit, just like my original example is right here. So this is one I've already made. I'm just going to make the other two in a very similar fashion. The reason being is I'm doing 3 of these journals. And so I'm not putting all of this in the same. I'm putting one set in each journal that I'm making. So I'm just going to go ahead and tear, from the top to a corner as best as I can. That looks pretty good. We'll even up this top right here. I can't get that quite to go. All right, so there's that. That's going to go right there in the background on that one. We will trim off our excess here in a second. And then for this side, I've got this one, and it can actually come up here in the top, or I can angle it a different way. I can come over here from the side maybe on this one. Let's do that. Let's come over from the side on this one. So let's get these glued down. I'm not going to ink these. These are all original paper, so I don't really feel the need to do a bunch of faux antiquing because they're already antique. So I'm just going to add glue to the back of this. And I'm using that same Uhu glue stick. That's the only glue stick that I use anymore. I haven't found anything else that stays stuck down as well as the Uhu does. So that's the point of that. And so I'm just going to take this, and it doesn't need to go all the way to the top, and it doesn't need to go all the way to the bottom. It just goes on there as best as it can. We're pretty good. Need to make sure that my edge gets glue. There we go. And so I will trim off the excess of that blue here in just a second. And then we need to glue this one. And this one we are going to put on, which way did we decide? Did we decide to go from the top there? We could even go from the bottom here. Let's do that. Let's go from the bottom. All right, so I'm adding glue. Before I change my mind again, we're adding glue. Now, anything that I glue that I end up cutting off and saving for another project as a scrap, the glue will dry clear, and so it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter as far as what you do with it. Like, you can totally glue up this blue ledger page, and anything I cut off, that glue is just going to dry clear, and you're not even going to know that you've got glue on the back side of it once it's dry, right? So I'm going to save all of this, but for now we're going to cut this off. Then I'm going to save this bottom strip here. Here we go. And then we're going to trim off this one. I hope you guys are having a fabulous Saturday. I'm filming this on Saturday for Sunday morning. Getting my videos done. All right, so there's this one. Now, normally we'll have a whole totally new project, but I do need to get these done. So I have this little bit of scrap. Now, you're not, you don't see the whole lady in here, and I think that's going to be okay. I'm going to cut her out the rest of the way. So I will leave as much as I need to as far as her dress goes down there. So when you cut these ladies out of the French original fashion magazines, sometimes the ladies are standing in a group where there's 4 or 5 different ladies and their dresses overlap each other. So that's how this one came to be cut shaped like this, is there were other ladies with their long flowing dresses in the fashion magazine, kind of over top of her. She was more in the background. And so now we've just got her with just whatever's left of her dress here. And it's going to be okay. I have some labels that I can put over it to make it work out. Just trying to follow around the roughness of her dress. And so it is a little odd shape, but I'm not going to worry about it. So there's that. So she can go on one. And then we've got this one for the other one. And she's actually starting to tear because these are originals. These are 1870s, 1880s magazine pieces. They're printed on newsprint. And so no one really anticipated that we would want them 150 years later, or 200 years later, almost 150. That's right. 150. And so nobody really anticipated us wanting them for this long. So they didn't print them on the best paper. They were meant to serve their purpose at that time. And so now we're all in love with them, and we wish that they printed them on better paper. You can obviously buy the originals. I sell them in the live sale, and you can scan them before you cut them out. I just have some that were damaged, so I was cutting out what I could and save what I could from them. So there's those 2 ladies. They're going to go just like that. Now, I do need to make sure that whenever I position my ladies on my tags, the whole point of it is that the lady would show through. So when this tag goes in here, I need to make sure that she is mostly on that side. And her dress, honestly, it's going to have to get trimmed off a little bit so that she can go on that side. So that's the point of that. Let's go ahead and glue these ladies on, and then we'll get our tags done. I'm like, this isn't the sheet of paper I had just a second ago. It's right here. Okay, so again, these are old. So when you glue them, just go gently. You don't want to go in both directions. You want to go in one direction, and you want to have a nice new, glue stick that's not going to have any drag. Here we go. There's that one. And their heads are usually where they rip off. So just knowing that going in kind of helps. You're able to position your glue stick and make sure that you're not ripping their head off. Okay, so she's good there, I think. And again, I didn't ink around them because these are old and originals, and I don't, think that we need to ink our old antique stuff. Probably more so just our new stuff trying to make it look old, you know what I mean? Okay, so here's this one. And I'm going to put them up as far as I can, just because I know that the window envelope is pretty long. So this is the window envelope. Now this lady was much larger. She was just a different print. And so I'm just going to trim off the rest of this here. We're going to add our labels. So we have some labels picked out, and then I'm going to add coffee dyed paper and my little lace tab, and I will put it all together and put it in this envelope for you guys so you guys can see what I did. So I've got a couple little labels. This one actually I think is going to go on this lady. And then I've got this one cut out, and this one can go down here, and it kind of fills in. It doesn't fill in everywhere, but it kind of fills in. And then this lady here, she is going to get this label. I just need to trim off a little bit of white on this one. And she's going to get this one. So you can see if I position the label, it's not as bad that there's part of a lady on there. I'm totally okay with it. So I'm not going to ink around these. These are already inked around for the most part. Let's just glue all three labels and stick them on. And then we'll put this in the journal so that we can see what they look like. I need to put this label on if there's a top or a bottom. There we go. So there's that one. I love using original stuff to craft with. It's just instant authenticity, no faking required. It's so much fun. So I know, you have to build up your stash before you feel comfortable using original stuff, right? Nobody wants to craft with the only antique French fashion magazine they have. So, when you're able to build up your stash to feel comfortable doing it, or maybe for the time being, you just need to copy them, take them either to a copy maker where they can copy them for you if you don't have a printer that does that, or, if you have a printer that does that at home, go ahead and copy them. So there's our 3 tags. Here is our 3 envelopes. So you can see I've decorated the envelopes. They just have book page and then a digital that has print layered and some paper doily. All the paper doilies are different. Then there is a botanical. So all of these are different. However, same enough, right? So I'm going to slide these ladies in here. I know I need to put coffee dyed paper. I guess we should go ahead and put the coffee dyed paper on them. Let's do that. Let's put coffee dyed paper on these. So somewhere in this pile of papers over here, I have some coffee dyed paper. I'm hoping, here's one. It'll work. Let's do it. So for these ladies, can I fit all 3 of them on one page? I think I can. Yes, perfect. So the reason why I'm adding coffee dyed paper is because the backs of them are all book page, and I want people to be able to write on the backs of these because they're going to be journaling tags. So you can put them in the journal and the new owner of the journal, because these journals will be for sale. At this point, 2 of the 3 are for sale. So when they're done, they'll go to their new owner, and then they can record whatever, memories or life experiences, or save, what some people use journals for all different kinds of purposes, right? Some people just save little mementos, little things that they like quotes or verses, or their daily memories, all that kind of stuff, right? Other people are total journalers, and they like to journal an entry a day or a week, or that kind of thing, just about daily life, to kind of make a record of what was happening. Maybe they're doing it for their kids to read later, or their grandkids to read later, both, all of the above. So different people use the journals for different things. Some people just make lists in their journal. So it's just a place to keep little notes and write things down. It's not really for memory keeping. All different kinds of things can be done with journals. And the most important thing is that they're beautiful, right? That they're something that we enjoy looking at. That's really the most important thing for most people when deciding to purchase a journal. They're concerned with whether or not it fits their style, and if it's for a specific purpose, like a vacation. Maybe you are going to France and you want to record those memories. Maybe you want a French themed journal for your French trip, right? So all different kinds of things go into purchasing a journal. Considerations go into purchasing a journal. Alrighty, let's cut these out. So I'm just going to hand cut them very quickly. Now, because I put coffee dyed paper that is not true antique in the back, I will go ahead and cut around these and then ink them. I won't ink them on camera just because you guys don't want to sit here and watch me ink all three of them, but they will be inked around before they go in their final place in the journal. But we will at least be able to get these in the envelopes. And I do save all of my little offcuts and scraps. These can be used, little scraps can be used for a lot of different things. So we're going to get these done, and I will have all three, one for each journal. And we're pretty good through here. And we're pretty good down here. So there's two of them done and backed. I love backing things on coffee dyed paper. Whenever the glue stick hits it, because of the moisture from the glue stick, it actually releases a little bit of the coffee dyed smell. And I think coffee smells amazing. I love the way coffee smells. So there's this one. We're all done with this part. Now let's get them in their journals, or their little envelopes, sorry, and then in the journal. Okay, so now that they have coffee dyed paper, they are a little bit more moist. That's okay. So all the envelopes are the same thickness. I really am just looking at, which one I want to go in which envelope. And I definitely like this lady for this one. So she's just going to slide down in there. And you can see the top of my tag sticks out. That is by design. Now, different tag shapes, because I freehand cut them. They will all be different. And so the fabric tab that I'm going to sew at the top of them, I have here next to me too. So here's this lady, and she actually goes down in all the way. And so what I will want to do with her is when I glue up the back of it, I'm going to add a little glue. I'm going to add a little glue down in here so that she doesn't slide in quite as far as she is right now, because I don't want her to be hard to get in and out. So if you ever have a situation where the tag is too small for whatever pocket you're trying to put it in, go ahead and add some glue to the bottom of your pocket, so that now she will not slide in. I'm going to let that set for a minute, but now she will not slide in as deep into the pocket. And here's this one. And so I still have to add coffee dyed paper to the backs of these envelopes, which is why they're popping open on the side like this. When I add coffee dyed paper to the backs of them, it's going to seal this part up so that the tag stays in when it's down on the page. But so all of our ladies go in our little windows. She can slide over a little bit like that. So all of our ladies show through, and we'll put this one in now. And now she should fit really nicely in here. Yes, she does. Fits really nicely. She's got a little flower sticking in front of her face, which I can edit off. But other than that, we'll just make a small little edit to this flower and everything will be okay there. Trim that back. There we go. So now those are done. Let's look at our journal and figure out where these are going to go in the journal. I have two of the journals sewn together. The third one is in process right now. So I'll just show you where I'm thinking of putting these and how they will work as little flip outs in the journal. So this is my French Blue Beauty Journal. It's one of the three. You can see that I haven't glued anything in it yet, but I have everything made to go inside of it. It is going to be finished next Friday during the Craft With Me Live, so I'll do it together. If you guys didn't know, I do live Craft With Me's every Friday. And so you guys can come over and watch me finish up this journal next Friday. So any old page will work to glue this on. The hinge of the envelope is how it attaches to the page. So the little hinge will actually glue to this side of the page over here. It'll glue like this right here, and then it will hinge and go inside. Now it could go the opposite way too. On this part right here, I'm not going to leave just the window envelope or the window flap, the envelope flap. I'm not going to leave it just right there. I will glue something over it like a pocket or something to cover that. But on this side, we've got our little lady, our tag, and then here's the little pieces of lace that I'm going to sew. I have 3 different little pieces of lace cut, and we're going to sew that on the top of our little tag right here, and it's just going to help get that tag in and out of the envelope. So this is going to be here, and it will flip out like this. And that's why I'm saying I need to go in and add another piece of coffee dyed paper over this, just because you've got like the back of the envelope open right here. It's just when you cut an envelope, that's what happens. So I will add an extra piece of coffee dyed paper here. Now you also could add a little hidden journaling space here, because you'll have a little space there when this is closed to add some more journaling space right there. So if you have an extra piece of paper, you might do that. But that's basically the way these are going to work. This is the way to make a little envelope flip out that has a little tag in there. Now I could go in and add a little bit more up here, and I might do that. But part of the reason why I left that like it is because it looks plain now. But when you sew your little lace tab at the top, it does kind of add a little something up there in that top section. So I think they're going to be fine just the way they are, but we'll see. You have to wait and see the finished product. We're basically finished with them, but I do edit things as I put them in journals. Okay, guys, that was our project for today. Thanks for letting me finish up these little envelope ladies. I guess we're just going to call them envelope ladies. Thanks so much for watching, and I will have a different kind of video tomorrow. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you again soon.